Welcome to the channel. I'm Tony the Technician. Today we're going to be going into a new product from Tekton. So if you guys are following the channel, you guys know that Tekton just released recently their new ratcheting wrenches, as well as a couple other items. Now they have released the stacking organization system. And this is going to be very similar to your stackable organizers that you find at Home Depot, Lowe's, things like that, like the Milwaukee, Flex, Craftsman, DeWalt. They all have their kind of own stackable, locking, customizable storage bins of different designs, whether that be drawers, compartments, big totes, things like that. And these have become very, very popular in the last, I don't know, maybe 5 years. Yeah, they've been around longer than that, but they've advanced a lot in the last 5 years, and they have become very, very popular. And so there are definitely pros and cons to this from Tekton, because this kind of falls into a weird spot. A lot of people using these types of organizers are like construction, HVAC, electricians, plumbers, the construction type of work. And while these are in some mechanic shops per se, more geared for mobile mechanics, this is also very popular in the paintless dent removal industry, for anybody that either has a shop or does mobile, because these are great for both. Plus you can break them down so they fit in a lot of vehicles. You can make them exactly how you want. They're more customizable than like a tool cart, and a lot easier to move around. But where it falls into a weird place at is this isn't something that's super popular in the automotive field in shops and stuff, because while this is going to be much more versatile than moving a toolbox around a shop, that's where tool carts come into play. Tool carts can be fantastic because you can put whatever you want in them and you have a work surface. This, you can get these pre-filled with tools, or you can get them empty, so you can kind of lay it out however you want, but you kind of lose that workspace of a tool cart, especially if you have a hard top, obviously. So it falls into a really weird spot. I do like it. I like it a lot. Maybe it's because of the industry that I'm in. I could get some use out of it. Now, I don't know if I could get use out of all these tools in the PDR industry. I wouldn't be using all of these tools. So I don't think I could get myself to purchase the full 239 piece tool set in the stacking tool cart for $1,250. And while you see that price, you might think that's a lot, but in reality, you're adding, these containers, for one, because they became so popular, they're not cheap. It doesn't matter what brand you go with, unless you really do go with some of the cheap stuff, and then you are getting cheap stackable organizers. Keep in mind that this is loaded out with tools and foam organizers and containers, because when I first saw this, I was like, that's a ridiculous price. But when you get to actually looking at what's included and then compare the tools that are included to the price of the foam and the price of the actual organizers, there isn't a whole lot. It is a little higher than it should be. Honestly, it is a little bit higher. Should probably, I don't know, maybe $1,000 at most, I guess, just after looking at it. But we'll get into the full system here in a minute. We'll just go through and show what's included. They have their tool cart dolly, which you're going to be able to adapt any of these different organizers that they have available onto here, and then you simply stack them. I'll show you how they interlock and all of that as well. You have different drawer layouts, so whether you're, whatever fasteners you're using, anything like that, you can kind of pick. Then you have the lid insert. This is going to be if it's your top portion of your system, you want to put a lid on it. If it's not already an enclosed case like this up top, if it's one of these drawer systems or the tote, then you'll toss a lid on it. But if you're stacking a bunch of these drawer systems, then you don't need a bunch of these lids. One thing to keep in mind, though, is if this is something that you're keeping in your vehicle mobile and you are constantly breaking this thing down, maybe you're cutting it in half to get it in your vehicle, keep it low profile, you want to pick up a lid for wherever you split it at, just so you're not riding around with one of these bins wide open. That's just something to keep in mind. But other than the lid, you can get this over here, the lid insert, and a foam organizer that you get 6 sheets of. So basically, when if you don't buy the fully loaded out one, this is going to be more geared for those not in the automotive field, or those in the automotive field that want to put their own tools in it and kind of build it out how they want. So you get 6 sheets of that, which isn't a bad deal for $30. Then you have a parts tray over here, a 4-bin. It's going to be a little bit deeper than these over here, and that is going to include a lid as well. Then you have your stacking drawer system, and then you have a stacking deep open tote for $50, which isn't priced too bad. Some of these totes can get very expensive. I mean, shoot, some of these brands out here are selling one tote similar to this, or maybe a couple drawer system for, you know, upwards of $100, $200. Then you have a little bit shorter one over here, similar to the open tote, but you got a locking lid or a latchable lid on it. And we'll just quickly get into this. You can see there are just kind of some of the different options that you can go with. All the different handles that are included on it. You got side handles, you got a top handle, you got a front handle. Here's how the latching system works, and I actually like that. As long as you don't accidentally grab it right there and unlatch it, which you should feel that since you have to press it in. And each one of these, you're going to get the dimensions and all of that good information. Tekton does a really good job of sharing, you know, the details and specs of their products. Let's get into the actual pre-built stuff though, because this stuff is actually priced really well when purchased empty without tools. This is very comparable to many of the other brands selling a stacking design like this. So getting into this, let's look over these and I will share my thoughts on which ones I believe are worth it and which ones I don't. So starting at the bottom, the pliers, I don't think it's a bad deal. You're coming up, I want to say about $50 short. So you got 20 for the drawer layout and then the foam. So you're paying a little bit extra for that organization in the foam already. And that goes for all of these, but some of them are worse than others. The 10-piece screwdriver set included in this, in the high torque design, is a $37 set. So under $40, and you're paying double that. That's a $20 drawer. So $37.57 total there. So you're paying $33 for the foam and organization in that drawer. This is probably the worst one at $140 for the Allen keys and bit drivers, okay? So while these are good quality, I already think that the Tekton L keys are overpriced. They're not made in the USA. They do have a nice little organizer rail system that they come on. They are nice, but there are plenty of other Allen key sets like this for a much better price. When it comes to these Allen keys, if they're not made in the USA, made in Japan or Germany, they're not worth that price tag. I'm sorry, but I'm not paying $45 for a Taiwan-made Allen key set. It's just not worth it. I paid that for a Japan-made set, and it is far superior to it. So disappointing on the price of the Tekton Allen keys. So this drawer in general is probably the worst drawer that I've seen so far. Obviously, you get the drawer pull out with the case. Sorry, I've just been showing you guys this, but it is both of these included. You obviously have the insert sitting in this bin that then slides into the rack system. So that's a $35 value there. So I miscalculated on that. So while this isn't a terrible deal, it's not $33 that you're paying for the foam, more like maybe 18 or so. It's not a bad deal, but for the price, if this isn't exactly what you're looking for or exactly how you would lay it out, I definitely think it's going to be well worth just building your own. Especially because, like I was stating at the beginning of the video, this is a very awkward position for this setup because you're not going to see this type of layout often in the automotive field rolling around in shops. While it is extremely versatile, to have everything stacked and not be able to kind of spread things out, like if I want my power tool out and a few hand tools, like you have no work surface here, so you're going to be removing this to access this, and the drawers aren't going to be really holding much for power tools, even if, you know, you don't have the foam in them and stuff. So it's just a really awkward position that they've put themselves in for the automotive field. And while this would be great for PDR, honestly, you wouldn't use a lot of these tools for that. So I would definitely have to be very selective. It wouldn't be something that I would go all in at for the $1,250, which I don't think that's a terrible deal. The price is high, but for what you're getting, it's not a terrible deal. But by far, the Allen key, $140 for this, definitely not worth it in my opinion. I could make a drawer setup just like that by buying this. So we're in at what, $30. I would even buy all 6 sheets for another $60. I could get Allen keys of really good quality and a bit driver set for much less than $140. I can guarantee that. The wrench drawers, I don't think are bad. They've done a good job of keeping things very compact. You get decent sized sets. You got a 19-piece set and a 15-piece set for both your metric and SAE. Metric going from 6 to 24 millimeter and 1/4 inch to 1 inch. Let's go ahead and look at the 6 to 24 millimeter wrench set. These are just your standard combination wrenches. 6 to 24 is $110. So $145 for the drawer system and the wrenches, and then, $15 for the foam. So not bad at all for the wrenches, honestly. Now these sockets. I think this is a fantastic layout. I really enjoy it. They got the kind of deeper bin here that you see that they've utilized for the ratchet and socket combination, kind of your socket set layout. It's going to be 2 stacks. Your top stack is going to include your shallow sockets in both 1/4 inch and 3/8, your extensions, universal joint adapters and reducers, extensions, bit driver, your 2 ratchets, and your breaker bar. And then you can kind of see the weird cutout in here and here. That's going to be so you can lift that foam tray out of there. I like that it's dual colors so you can kind of see what's there and what's missing. Then once you lift that tray out, down below you're going to have all of your deep well sockets and your spark plug sockets. 1/4 inch up top, 3/8 all down below, and then your spark plug sockets in the corner. I think it's a great layout. They've done a very good job of kind of separating the spark plug sockets, so there's a little bit of an identifier there with the larger gap, but everything else is spaced very nicely. They've utilized the space very well. The disappointing thing is what's actually included. The 1/4 inch set, you're only getting 4 millimeter, 10 millimeter, and 5/32 to 3/8. If you're going to include the 1/4 inch drive, include it up to at least 14. I get that the 3/8 is going to cover what the 1/4 inch stops at. It goes from 10 to 24, but having the 11 through at least 14, 15 would be great, is just something that I use pretty commonly in my 1/4 inch drive. So I think the 3/8 is a good, complete, decent sized set, but they could have definitely at least put a full 1/4 inch drive set in there, especially for $350. Let's go ahead and look at the socket sets. 1/4 inch, this is a 56-piece set, and we'll go with the smaller 3/8 drive set. That's $185 right there. Even if you went with the larger one, it's $270, but you're not getting all of the 1/4 inch drive set. Even this set over here goes up to $15. So where the $350 is coming from, I get you got 2 sheets of foam in there, and it's a little bit more expensive drawer. It's not just the simple pull-out drawer. It's the open cavity. But even this smaller set, the 35 and 46, that's an 80-piece set right there for the 2 smaller sets. You could have, and that would only be $160 for these 2 being included, and at least then they would be 2 complete sets. Now, granted, the 3/8 wouldn't be as large, but even doing this 1/4 inch set and the full 3/8, you're only at $270, and you would have at least had that, and that still covers the price of the stackable container that it's in. So while I think this is laid out very well, and you do get a good selection of 3/8, the 1/4 inch is quite lacking. So for that $350 price range, I would have definitely like to have seen a full set of 1/4 inch, because any other socket set that I can go out and buy the 194-piece DeWalt set that I absolutely love, 194, 192, something like that, piece set for $145. And it's going to include all of these, minus a breaker bar. Granted, the ratchets aren't as nice, but what I'm saying is for $350, you better give me full sets. So that on that end, it's a little disappointing when it comes to the socket set range. Getting into the full thing. So minus, 2 or 3 of these, I think they're priced pretty well. And I think the price of the individual items, you can definitely build something out for a decent price. This whole layout for $1,250, I just don't think there's going to be a huge market for it. When I first saw this, I was like, I'm going to buy this. Even though I saw the price, I was like, and then I realized I already have my tools in my work truck. It's not worth just buying this, even if I was in a shop. The reason being is I just wouldn't get the use out of a lot of these tools. And then the ones that would, do you prefer everything to be from Tekton? Because while I really enjoy Tekton tools, doesn't mean when you like a brand or you've had good experiences with a brand, doesn't mean they have the best deals on every single tool, because they don't. It doesn't matter who you're looking at. And sometimes it's not worth that sacrifice. So I do like this design. I like it a lot. The whole drawer system, I could use it for other things besides tools and save a lot of money. You know, a lot of hooks and picks and dollies, and just my smaller tools I could fill up a few of these drawers with, and definitely get some good use out of. I like the bottom dolly. I like the latching container, and the big bin kind of holds some of my, you know, my glue gun, my heat gun, my torch, things like that. I could definitely get some use out of this, but I already have a setup that works just fine for me, so it's just not worth it. I really like the layout. I like what they've done here. I don't see a huge market for it, really, at least the way they've designed it. Construction people aren't using a bunch of these types of tools. They have a whole different type, or, you know, a lot of the construction workers aren't using a lot of these styles of tools, and a lot of them are using, you know, insulated tools or brands very popular to their specific job, really. Because like when you get into electricians' tools or anything like that, a lot of HVAC, they're not using a whole lot of automotive brand tools. So let me know your guys' thoughts. Do you feel like there is a specific situation where this would be fantastic for? But they do have this design very well. You can go through, you can click, you can get right to the item, get the specs on everything. They share a lot of information. That, once again, they show you kind of different ways that you can stack them. Some nice thick foam. You're not getting 1-inch foam. You got some decent depth there. You're not going to wear through it real quick. Load capacity of 220 pounds. And here's something else that I wanted to share with you. So sockets, accessories, ratchet, breaker bar, spindle, a lot of these made in Taiwan. Drivers, spinner handle, T-driver handle, slip joint pliers, groove joint pliers. Some of the pliers and the foam are made in the USA. The lid insert, open top drawers, stacking toolbox made in Germany. Stacking drawer racks made in Poland. So you have a lot of things made in Poland, Germany, the USA, and Taiwan. So a lot of good quality stuff here. Just what do you guys think? Where's this going to fall in at? Where's this going to be? What scenario is this going to be great for? I don't see this selling a whole lot. Not necessarily just because of the price, but because of the industries that we're in. Like, I don't know. There could be one. I just can't think of it right now. Maybe go and look up the L-Box family and see what else is available. As you can see, there's other toolboxes here. Like here you have the Bosch L-Box, which is interchangeable with that system. The Tekton one is at $90. You can get the Bosch dolly for $78. Here they have the same kind of where the sockets are included for the Tekton for $49, which I think is very comparable to what Tekton is selling it for. Yeah, $50. But they're also going to offer more variety than what Tekton is offering. So here you can see the L-Box options. There's a lot of different options. So while some of these are pretty spendy, it is customizable beyond what Tekton is offering, basically, is what I'm getting at. I think it's really cool of what they've put together. I just don't know how well this is going to perform. Let me know your guys' thoughts down in the comments. Once again, if you guys enjoyed this video, please make sure to smash that thumbs up. Leave a comment down below of your guys' thoughts. And as always, if you haven't subscribed, make sure to subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.